So, what is your name? I'm Driekus Kuiper. You might know me on the forums as Bratton as well.
My name is Manuel Molina. I'm a content designer.
What is your name? Gabriel. I am the content design lead for Hearts of Iron 4, which means I'm sort of a bit more high level than the regular content designers, so I can basically tell them to do what I don't want to do. I don't do it that often.
How long have you worked at Paradox Interactive? I've been here for 2 years now. How long have you worked on Hearts of Iron? I've been working on Hearts of Iron for 2 years as well.
I have worked here 5 years, and I have worked on Hearts of Iron the entire time.
I have worked at Paradox Interactive for almost exactly 5 years now. So I used to be a huge fan, and then shortly after the release of Hearts of Iron, I applied and got in. Now I got to do focus trees for a living. It was great. As a content designer, we do historical research, narrative design, game design, scripting, writing, pretty much, even some art direction, I would say. So a lot of the things that you see on the surface, like events and focus trees, that's our work.
What is the most difficult aspect of being a content designer? The thing that you have this huge task that is the counter you have to make, because it's not just the focus tree, but all the content associated with it, like decisions, events, all the art within it, all the UX aspects you need to take care of. There's a lot of things involved in it. You sometimes find yourself isolated in the middle of a huge task and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you just have to keep investing all your efforts on going through it, and in the end it's very rewarding to have it done.
What is my favorite aspect of No Step Back? It's probably the tank designer, because I designed it and I also did a lot of the implementation work for it, so it's my baby.
I really like the tank designer. I think it's super cool, and I also like the way all the new focus trees interact with a lot of the different mechanics, such as the supply system, the tank designer, the officer corps, and not even that, but also the older mechanics such as spies and things like that. I think that's very cool. Adds a lot of depth to the content.
It's got to be the supply system. Just adds an entire new level of depth to land combat, which it sorely lacked. The original system was quite simplistic, and it just feels good what you can do with that now. And trains are always great.
Favorite thing you yourself worked on for No Step Back? I worked on the Soviet focus tree, so my favorite thing was the propaganda campaigns. I think they are a very interesting system, and I think they look so cool. The art is very cool, it looks great, and it adds some more depth and details.
That has to be the alt history branches of the Soviet Union. Alt history is just really fun to work with. Coming up with good historic hooks to base the alt history on, and then fleshing it out and trying to predict what might happen. Coming up with some crazy ideas. It's just fun to be able to be really creative with things.
Was there something you really wanted in the DLC that got cut? Yeah. So early on we had a feature that would let you attach support units to armies, but unfortunately we decided that we did not have the time to do that and cut it. I'm sad that it got cut, and I'm not saying that just because I also designed that one. I'm saying it because it was objectively the best feature.
Probably a democratic tree for the Soviet Union. Development is like a sausage that nobody wants to see made, right? To quote an old colleague of mine. And well, some things just happen that you have to deal with, and ended up we didn't have time for it. So we decided to focus a bit more on getting all of the good stuff in the other branches and make those really worthwhile. Who knows in the future?
Are there areas of the game you work on other than focus trees? Actually, yes, like focus tree is just the tip of the iceberg. And we actually work on a lot of events, news events, decisions, a lot of content that might not be exactly the focus tree, but it's associated with the country. And then apart from that, we also have to interact with all the other systems or rework some systems, for example, the character system. There was a lot of work that we need to do there. Even if it's not directly related to the country you have to make.
How is it decided what nations will get new focus trees and which won't? So that's a bit of a longer answer. Around the time that we wrap up work for the previous DLC, the game director comes to me and goes, "Hey, this is my idea for the next DLC, these are the countries that I think we should do. And then I go, well, look at how many people we have, we need to cut 2 of these countries already. And then we take a quick look at Wikipedia mostly to see if there's interesting stuff that we can do. And then finally we look at how much work would it actually be to do that country justice and how much time do we have.
Are there plans to expand focus trees in smaller nations? Well, there are plans, like we would like to do it, and there are some plans for it. No promises though. Yeah, in the end, like we all would love to have all the nations really fleshed out with more details, with more content. It's just a matter of how long it takes for us to get through to all of them.
And then finally, what is the difference between a content designer and a game designer? Also very interesting question. Dan, the previous game director, once said that a content designer is a game designer that can write entire sentences. That is not incorrect. We do a lot of writing. It is one of the core pillars of the role is to be a good writer. But on HOI, while there's a lot of overlap between the disciplines, the difference between game designers and content designers on HOI is that the game designers focus more on the core features and the game mechanics and the balance. So they worry a lot more about basically how the spreadsheets look of the balance between different units and all of that kind of stuff that is boring. And the content designers do more of the narrative design stuff. So focus trees are always content design tasks for as long as I have worked here. Obviously the game designers also play through the focus trees and say, hey, this seems a bit overpowered, or this doesn't mesh very well with how this new system works, and give us some advice on how to fix it.
Thanks for the questions.
Thanks for your questions.
Thanks for your questions, and I hope you enjoyed the answers.